your cat knows its name. A 2019 study at Sophia University in Tokyo tested 77 cats and confirmed that domestic cats can distinguish the sound of their own name from other words with similar phonetic structure. They respond to it. Ear movement, head turning, measurable neurological recognition. They also ignore you. And that's not a flaw in the research. That's the finding. Cats hear you. They process what you're saying, and then, most of the time, they do absolutely nothing about it. If you're a dog person, that sounds like a limitation. If you're a cat person, you already know what it actually is. Strategy. Because the more researchers study the domestic cat, the more a pattern keeps emerging that nobody expected. Your cat isn't aloof. Your cat isn't indifferent. Your cat's running one of the most sophisticated influence campaigns in the animal kingdom. And it's been working on you since the day you brought it home. Let's start with the meow. You've heard your cat meow 1,000 times. When they want food, when they want a door opened, when they want attention at 4 a.m. for reasons that remain unclear to everyone involved. You probably think of it as their natural voice. It's not. Adult cats almost never meow at each other. Put a camera in a feral colony, the kind behind a shopping center or under a highway overpass, and you'll hear hissing, growling, the bone-chilling yowl of mating calls. What you will almost never hear is a meow. A study published in the journal Behavioral Processes compared feral and owned house cats and found that feral cats were far more likely to hiss or growl. And when they did meow, it was indiscriminate, aimed at humans, dolls, dogs, anything. House cats meowed more often and almost exclusively at humans. Here's why that matters. Kittens meow at their mothers to signal hunger and distress. It's a survival signal. And as they mature, they stop. In every feral population studied, adult cats drop the meow because it's no longer useful. Other cats don't respond to it, except in your house. In your house, the meow never stopped because in your house, the meow kept working. You fed them, you opened the door, you got up, and the cat, doing exactly what any intelligent animal does when a behavior produces a reliable outcome, kept doing it. Refined it, perfected it. Nicholas Nicastro, a researcher at Cornell, compiled 100 different vocalizations from 12 cats and played them to human volunteers who rated each for pleasantness and urgency. He found a clear spectrum. Short, high-pitched meows registered as friendly. Longer, lower meows registered as demanding. And when he compared domestic cat meows to recordings of their closest wild ancestor, the African wildcat, the domestic version was consistently shorter, higher-pitched, more tonal, more pleasant, more kitten-like. Over thousands of years, the cat's voice had been reshaped by selection. The cats that sounded most appealing to the human ear got fed, got sheltered, got kept. Nicastro put it bluntly. Cats are domesticated animals that have learned what levers to push, what sounds to make to manage our emotions. And when we respond, we too are domesticated animals. But the meow is just the beginning, because what researchers found next borders on acoustic engineering. In 2009, Karen McComb, a behavioral ecologist at the University of Sussex, published a paper in Current Biology that remains one of the most remarkable findings in animal-human communication. McComb had a cat named Peppo. Every morning, Peppo sat on her bed, close to her face, and produced a purr so insistent she couldn't stay asleep. She'd get up and feed him. She asked cat-owning colleagues. They all had one. a specific purr their cat used only when demanding food that was different from the resting purr. Harder, more urgent, something about it that got under your skin, so she designed a study. Her team recorded purrs from 10 cats in 2 conditions: solicitation, meaning the cat was trying to get food, and non-solicitation, meaning relaxed and content. They played both types to 50 human volunteers at the same volume. 75% of participants, whether they owned a cat or not, consistently identified the solicitation purrs as more urgent and less pleasant. Then McComb ran acoustic analysis, and what she found hidden inside the solicitation purr changed how we understand cats. Buried inside the low rumble, the familiar 25 to 50 hertz vibration, there was a high-frequency peak, a small embedded cry layered within the purr itself. That peak sat at roughly 220 to 520 hertz. That frequency range overlaps with the cry of a human infant. When McComb digitally removed just that high-frequency component and left everything else identical, listeners immediately rated the purrs as less urgent. It wasn't the rumble that made the sound impossible to ignore. It was the cry hidden inside it. Your cat has learned or evolved to embed an infant's cry inside a sound you perceive as comforting. The purr disarms you. The cry activates you. The combination bypasses your rational brain and triggers the same ancient neural circuitry that responds when a human newborn is in distress. You don't decide to get up and feed the cat. Something deeper than decision makes you do it. McComb herself said something most researchers wouldn't dare say. They learn how to do this, and then they do it quite deliberately. The solicitation purr was especially common in cats with a one-on-one relationship with their owner. Fewer humans in the house, more refined the manipulation. Your cat customized this for you. Now let's talk about what your cat does with its face. You've seen it. Your cat is sitting across the room looking at you. They narrow their eyes. They blink, slowly, deliberately. It feels like affection, and you're right. But you're also being managed. In 2020, Tasman Humphrey and Karen McComb, the same McComb, published the first experimental study of the slow blink in cat-human communication in the Nature journal Scientific Reports. In the first experiment, owners slow blinked at their cats. The cats blinked back significantly, more than in no interaction conditions. In the second, complete strangers slow blinked at cats they'd never met. The cats blinked back and were more likely to approach the stranger's outstretched hand. What the researchers described the slow blink as having parallels with the Duchenne smile in humans, the genuine smile that involves the muscles around the eyes. And a follow-up study found that shelter cats who responded to human slow blinks were rehomed faster than cats who didn't. The slow blink literally determines whether a cat gets adopted or stays in a cage. The behavior exists, at least in part, because it works on you, and your cat knows it. Here's where the full picture comes together. The domestic cat's ancestor, the African wildcat, is a solitary hunter. No pack instinct, no group living. And yet, roughly 10,000 years ago, wildcats drifted toward human grain stores. Not because humans invited them, because grain attracted mice, and mice attracted cats. An arrangement formed. But the crucial difference between cats and dogs is this. Dogs were actively domesticated by humans. We bred them, we selected them, we controlled their reproduction for thousands of years. Cats domesticated themselves Nobody bred the first house cats for friendliness. The wild cats that tolerated humans got closer to food. The most tolerant got the most food. Over hundreds of generations, a population emerged that could live alongside humans. Not because they'd been trained, but because they'd figured out that humans were useful. What followed was 10,000 years of optimization. Cats tuned their vocalizations, their facial expressions, their timing to extract maximum benefit while maintaining maximum autonomy. They don't come when called, but they know their names. They don't obey commands, but they purr at the frequency of a baby's cry when they want breakfast. And there's a concept from developmental psychology that ties it together. Neoteny, the retention of juvenile traits into adulthood. Your adult cat meows, a kitten behavior, kneads with its paws, a nursing behavior, purrs while being held, first produced while suckling, approaches you with tail raised, a signal kittens direct at their mothers. Your adult cat is presenting you with the complete signal package of an infant, and your brain responds accordingly. Not because you chose to, because you're a mammal and your caregiving system is being activated by signals it was built to respond to. Bjarne O. Brastad, a professor at the Norwegian University of Life Sciences, has studied this for decades. His conclusion is direct. When cats regard their owners as surrogate parents, not metaphorically, functionally, they never stop being a kitten, not because they couldn't, because it works. But here's the thing most people miss, and it's the reason this video isn't really about manipulation at all. In 2019, researchers at Oregon State University tested 65 cats using a modified version of the same attachment test psychologists use with human infants. Cats were placed in an unfamiliar room with their owners. The owner left. The owner returned. 65% were classified as securely attached. Not tolerant, not indifferent, attached. In the clinical, developmental psychology sense of the word, distress when the owner left, reduced stress when the owner returned. Nearly the same proportion found in human infants and in dogs. The manipulation is real. The solicitation purr is real. The retained kitten signals are real. But the bond underneath all of it is also real. Your cat isn't a con artist. Your cat is a species that evolved in solitude, stumbled into proximity with humans, and over 10,000 years developed a complex, layered, partially manipulative, partially genuine way of maintaining a relationship with a creature it depends on, but doesn't instinctively understand. Your cat didn't evolve to love you. It evolved to influence you. And somewhere in the process, somewhere in the 10,000 years of purring and blinking and meowing and kneading, something that looks a lot like love emerged anyway. Your cat's ancestor, 1,000 generations back, was a solitary desert predator with no interest in companionship. And today her descendant is asleep on your chest. It's purring at a frequency that mimics a human infant, having trained you to wake at 6 a.m. to serve salmon pate from a can. And it's working on all of us right now. If this changed how you hear your cats purr tonight, subscribe, drop a comment. Does your cat have a specific sound it uses only when it wants food? Because I guarantee it does. And now you'll never unhear it. And if you want to understand why cats choose one person in the house and ignore everyone else, that's the next video. And the science behind it is